Good afternoon, Coach. How are you today?
I'm doing well, Pat. How are you today?
How did you come out of the game health-wise?
Codrington came up a little bit lame with the hamstring, so we're getting more information on that. So other than that, I think we came out okay.
Did you accomplish in a game like that? I'm sure you had your notepad going. Did you accomplish everything that you wanted on yesterday's game? I know you still wanted to win the game.
Yeah. Let's start there. No, I didn't. It's that was the number one goal, and certainly keeping everyone healthy, and then being aware of some of what the guys had on the line too. That's you always want to try and make sure you're connected as far as that goes as well. So the number one thing was to get out of the game healthy as we could. Brandon in this case, I was still getting information on him, but overall, I felt like we did a pretty good job trying to balance everything. Would have loved to have won that game, but we move forward at this point here.
Is that a concern? He's been your main return guy. Going into a playoff game, do you feel that you and Brandon might have to make any moves prior to the game?
We'll see. Like I said, it's still kind of early in terms of the information coming from our medical team. So we'll just take it one day at a time here on it.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Pat.
Hey, Coach, Ian Mills with News 10 NBC in Rochester. How you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you, Ian?
I'm not bad. So obviously the Broncos this week, and Sean Payton, a guy you have a lot of history with, dating back to the Panthers and Saints days. I'm curious, how has he, in your mind, sort of evolved the way he is as a coach from, when you were first coaching against him back in 2011 as a defensive coordinator to, when you guys were coaching against each other last year as head coaches?
I think he's one of the best coaches in our league. I really do. He's won at all the at the highest levels and won a Super Bowl, and I think he's one of the best offensive play callers and designer of plays that there is out there. So it's, to me, no surprise that they've had the success that they've had.
We've been talking a little bit about their defense. What, in your mind, has sort of helped that defensive line and that linebacker core sort of maybe unlock something to now become, they had the most sacks in the league by a pretty wide margin?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
I was asking about kind of the Broncos defensive line and linebacker unit. Sort of, in your mind, what has been unlocked with that unit this season to sort of give them that success?
Well, I think they're extremely talented. We can start there. You watch the film and it jumps off the film just in terms of how fast they play and how explosive they are. So, they've been very, very successful and very productive, to your point.
Thanks, Sean.
Yeah.
Hey, Sean, John Worrell, AP.
Hi, John. How you doing?
Good. Yourself?
Doing well, thanks.
Joe Brady, there's been reports. Can you confirm reports that there's been requests from the Jets and the Saints to interview Joe Brady? And what is your philosophy on these interviews right now?
Well, I'll start there. I mean, yes, with the philosophy is, we're going to keep the Buffalo Bills and the business of the Buffalo Bills at the top of our priority list. And then number two is always wanting the best for Joe. And, he's a guy that's done a really good job here, as you guys know, and, deserves the attention that he's gotten. So with that comes some interview requests, and we have received some of those, and, we'll see where it goes in the days and weeks ahead here.
And speaking of Joe, he always talked about the things that he learned in Carolina during the other time when he was an offensive coordinator. What have you seen in his development, maturity, and maybe just confidence that he's gained over the course of this, since he took over the reins a year and a half ago?
Well, there's a lot in there in that one question. Felt like it was like 5 questions in one here. No,
he's done a lot.
It's a fair question. It is. When you come out of a situation like he came out of, I'm not going to pretend to know all that went on while Joe was there, but it offers a lot of time to reflect and offers, if positioned the right way, a lot of room for growth. And so I think Joe's done a really good job of reflecting and then growing. And so coming here, being able to see things in a little bit of a different maybe way, in the way things are done here. And then Joe continuing to grow and being able then, just over a year and a half ago, whatever it was, to, get another shot at being a coordinator. And, what I've seen is his leadership continue to grow and his impact on our offense in particular.
Good. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Hi, Sean. Sal here. Good to talk
Hey,
to you.
Sal. Good to see you.
You too. Good. Two questions for you. I know you said no new injuries other than Brandon. What do you assess as far as Terrell's chances for this weekend?
Bernard, TB.
Yes, Terrell Bernard. Yes.
No, I think from the information that I got towards the end of the week from our medical staff was that he's trending in the right direction, and no news at this point is good news as far as I'm concerned.
All right, and then the other one is Amari Cooper back with the team after being excused for a personal family matter, or could you give us any light on that?
No, he's not. He is not returned at this point.
Okay. Do you expect him to return this week and be available for the game?
I would hope so.
Okay.
I'm taking it one day at a time.
Okay. Thanks, Coach.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Catherine. How are you?
Good, thanks. I was wondering, I know the game yesterday was also about evaluating guys who don't get to play quite as often, and I was just wondering if there was anyone in particular who stood out to you when you either saw it live or watched it back of, oh, I'm learning more about what this guy does when he's on the field.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, there's a number of guys out there, Catherine, who either haven't played a lot or played not at all, and so they got moved into from maybe practice squad. They had an up, and or were special teams players, and that was their role. Then they moved into a full-time position, and so for all those players, I think just looking at the increased workload was it was admirable to see those guys push through, because you got some defensive linemen out there or players on offense who go from almost playing 0 reps to a full game. And so that's hard to do, especially this time of year. When you're coming out of training camp, everyone's kind of about the same spot in terms of their endurance. And then what happens, unfortunately, is during the year, it kind of goes down if you're not playing as much. And then all of a sudden you got to ramp it back up. So I think more than anything, there wasn't any, one player. I think overall, you looked at just the ability for those guys to carry that type of load was impressive.
And then when you watch back, I know the plan going into the game was for DeMar and Taylor to get more time on task together. Yeah. Just, with more time watching the film, what did you make of the day they had?
I think they would say they want some of those plays back. It was good to have them back out on the field together, and the communication that is so important for those two. And there was certainly some really good plays, and then a few that kind of stood out. I think that they would want back, but it was good. Hopefully they're knocking off the rust. Just being back together for the first time in a few weeks here.
When you do look at the plays that didn't go the way they wanted, how much emphasis can you put on that when it is such a different defense to, you talk all the time about rushing coverage working together when they're out there with different guys. Are you evaluating that the same way, or is it more kind of just a communication-based game that you're trying to get out of them?
With those two in particular?
Yes.
A little bit of both, I would say, is knocking some of the rust off them individually, and then them, being out there together, I would say, in the communication. And then at the end of the day, making sure that for every position, every player, that our fundamentals are where they need to be. So I would say it was a blend of all those areas.
Thanks.
Sure.
Coach Mookie Hawkins, 104 Sports 1080. Welcome back.
Good to see you, Mookie.
Coach, just tell me a little bit about what makes Bo Nix dangerous.
Oh, man. Extremely aware of different coverages, different looks that defense gives them, extremely mobile, tough. He's the real deal.
Absolutely, Coach. And I know you wanted to assess, some of the guys yesterday, but care to talk about Dwayne Carter's process, coming in as a rookie and, his process, how he's developed so far?
I thought he did a good job. He pushed through a little bit of an injury or two in training camp, and then he was able to kind of get on this type of upward trajectory. And then he had that setback with the wrist hand injury, and I think he's working himself back. I don't think he's back to where he was before, but he is showing signs of improvement and working himself back to where he was.
Coach, this is a brand new season, and man, you have put together some streaks in the past couple of years. Last year, when your back was up against the wall to make the playoffs, you put together a 6-7 game winning streak to clinch the division, and then this year alone, you went on an 8 to 9 games. So, what's it going to take to put together a 4 game winning streak?
Winning the first day, winning the first game. Let's just start there.
Absolutely, Coach. Have a great practice. Good luck this week.
All right, thanks.
Hey, Sean, AJ Feldman here in Rochester. Thanks for taking the time.
Sure.
When you look at a rookie quarterback like Bo Nix, you have a strong record against rookies in your career. Do you maybe throw a little kind of less at him when he has so much experience in college, maybe making him less of a rookie, less prone to, maybe typical rookie mistakes when he has that experience in his back pocket coming into the NFL?
I think it's just more game plan to game plan. Every player is different. Every game's different, takes on a complexion of its own. And so we'll just, we gotta have a really good week of preparation. And this is a really good football team coming in here, and they're playing well in all three phases. And, it's been very impressive what they've been able to do, led by Coach Payton, of course. And, we're going to have a great week of preparation, and we're going to have to earn it. That's for sure.
And then when you talk about DeMar Hamlin, shaking off the rust, coming back from that injury, does his performance give you enough confidence to put him back in the starting lineup, or is that still something to be determined later in the week?
No, DeMar's the starter, and that's how we'll go into the game. And he'll still use this week though to continue to get his legs back underneath him a bit.
All right, great. Thanks for your time, Sean.
Sure.
Hey, Sean. With Keon Coleman, the last couple of weeks, 17 targets, 5 catches. What have you seen from him? And we always talk every year about maybe a rookie wall. Have you seen anything with that, and just your evaluation of his play the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, man. I think the honest truth about it is every rookie who says that they don't hit the wall, they've hit the wall, right? It's just a matter of how much, because it's just so different, the length of the season from the college season. So I think all rookies hit the wall, generally speaking, and then some more than others. As it relates to Keon, I think it's really just continuing with him, because you think about, he missed a few weeks, right, with the injury, so that may have helped him a little bit from a freshness standpoint. And then it's really about him continuing to grow and improve and play his best football down the stretch for us here. And we're going to need it.
Mm-hmm. And then a quick follow-up about Amari. I know it's a personal matter. I know probably don't want to get into the details of it, but is it more of a, fans have some concern? Is it more of you'll know more on Wednesday, or how is the process for whether or not he's going to be able to get back? How is that going to go this week?
No, it's family related, and I'll just leave it at that out of respect for Amari.